Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, Liverpool versus Newcastle United match preview. Yes, I'm doing this a little bit earlier. I'm away over the weekend, and so I thought today would be the best time to do it. So if you like what you see, please do smash that like. It does help the channel up the search, and it means new viewers find the channel more easy. So do give it a like. That'd be great. Thank you. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and join this great community by smashing the subscribe button. That is free to do so. And the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows as well. So I'm closing in now on 1100. If you want to become a member, it's 99p. Do that by clicking the join button. And if you want to make a donation, you can do that in chat by clicking the $sign as well. Right, let's go through some comments, and then there's something I just want to put out there, but just go through the comments first. David says, we're going to get a pace knife here. If we get beat by Forest at home, what chance have we at Liverpool away? Sad to say, but this season's written off already. Sorry for being a downer. No, absolutely not, mate. Look, Liverpool have been on form this season. If I'm honest, I think Liverpool will probably win the Premier League this season. We know Man City have got a game in hand. They'll be 2 points behind, but I'm not sure. So let's hope it's not a pacing, but, you know, I know exactly where you're coming from. Yeah, Tony Ross says, afternoon, Tony and everyone. Good afternoon to you, mate. Hope you're well. He says, looks like Man City's given permission for Calvin Phillips to talk Newcastle. Yeah, it looks that way. And, you know, another report going around, well, somebody's put out there, apparently De Gea is ready to have talks with Newcastle as well. So things might start hotting up. Bias says, afternoon, Tony. Anyone know what time it is? I know you get mixed up with these bloody days. It's Thursday today, Bia, and it's 3:05. It's Easter morning, Bia, says Andrew. Hi, Tony, says Trolls. Hi, mate, I hope you're well. Yes, where are we, Andy? Thank you. Thursday, 3 o'clock, I think, says Tony Ross, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone, says Mad Mag. Good afternoon to you as well, mate. Hope you're well. Easter egg. Links to Joshua Zirksey today as well. I don't know a lot about him, if I'm honest, but I will have a look at his stats and we'll see what he's like. I just hope you don't concede more than 3 goals, says Trolls. Let's hope not. Very good afternoon, says Mason. Good afternoon to you, mate. Hope you're well. Liverpool are our bogey club anyway. Seem to be, don't they? De Gea in Jan the 1st and straight team for the Liverpool game. I think if we did sign him now, I think he could play on the 1st of January because I can't see why he couldn't. He's a free agent. He can be registered. So, you know, yeah, I can't see why not. But yeah, well, we'll see what happens with that one. We'll just wait and see. Right. What I want to say is before I get into the preview and that, this morning I did a transfer rumour show. Obviously, because of the big news about Calvin Phillips being banded about, that's getting a bit louder. Right, when that show, it was a pre-record, so when it was on there, I was watching it because I was reading people's comments and then obviously commenting back to people. One fan came in the chat and he turned around and he said, didn't like the way people were talking. He says, we're on a bad run, everybody's shouting for Eddie Howe out. You know, and calling the players sound like a bunch of Man United fans who are just twats. Why don't you go and support them? And say, whoa, hang on a minute. This is the problem we have here, right? Look, when this takeover happened 2 years ago, our fan base changed. But we thought it would change for the better. But since that takeover 2 years ago, I see it on a constant basis, and not just me, probably everybody else in the chat has probably seen it as well. The infighting with fans. The fact that if you say something negative about the club, they're going to come down on you like a ton of bricks. But look, at the end of the day, I've supported this club since I was 10-year-old. I've done it for 41 years, right? I've seen the bad times. I've seen the great times. At the end of the day, if something's not going right and I feel criticism is justified, then I'm going to criticise. I don't care what anybody out there says at the end of the day. On this channel, it's all honesty and truth. If people don't like honesty and truth and they want to go and watch a channel that has fairy tales, well, go and watch the channel with fairy tales. But if you want honesty, then come on this channel. The same as TTR, June Review. I was on there last night watching, well, I caught up on that show this morning, in fact. And look, the way people are having to go Paul, Billy and Alex, just because they're being honest. Not because they're telling lies, it's because they're being honest. And at the end of the day, the infighting in this fan base is just absolutely ridiculous. It really is. I'm not going to come on here and sugarcoat things and say, oh, the garden's rosy and everything like that. When we all know fine well, it's not rosy. If people are not happy that we're criticising, then tough. Don't watch us. If you don't want to watch this channel because we're being critical or we're being truthful, then go and watch a channel that does do fairy tales like I just said. But at the end of the day, all I want to say is, look, I'm not saying Eddie Howe out for 1 minute. I'm not saying Howe out for 1 minute. I want nothing more than Eddie Howe to succeed here, bring trophies to the club. But at the end of the day, it's nothing to do with us. At the end of the day, if, say, for instance, I'm not saying this is going to happen, by the way, but if, say, for instance, we got a hammering on Monday and Yasser Al-Ramayan, chief of PIF, gets in touch with the man and says, right, Eddie's got to go. It doesn't matter how many fans, doesn't matter how many fans go out there and say at the club, oh, you can't sack Eddie Howe, he's too good, he's too good. If PIF want to change their manager, they can do it. And there's nothing any of us can do about it. You know, it happens in the world of football. You know, do you see Man City fans arguing? Like, say, for instance, if, say, Pep Guardiola left Foden on the bench for one game and he played Jack Grealish, and Jack Grealish had a stinker, and then he said, oh, I'll bring him off at 80 minutes and I'll put Foden on for the last 10. But they don't win that game. And Man City fans will say, and you'd have Man City fans saying, well, oh, come on, Guardiola, what are you playing at? Why are you doing this? Why didn't you have him on after half an hour? Grealish has been crap all game. Get him off, get him off. And do you think other fans will come on and say, oh, you've got no right to criticise Pep Guardiola, he won the treble and all this? No, they wouldn't, because their fan base isn't like that. But our fan base is so toxic at times. And the thing is, if players need calling out, they will be called out. Like Miggy Almiron, he has not played well. And I'm sure the majority of the fan base will look at that and say he has not played well. Right? And look, if Miggy Almiron was honest and he watched back his highlights reel of what he's done, I'm sure he would sit down and say, look, actually, no, I haven't played well, and I can understand why fans are not happy. I mean, I did give Eddie Howe a little bit of criticism for Tuesday, but the reason I did that was because, look, we all saw it as fans. Surely Eddie sees it in the stadium, his coaching team, his backroom staff. We saw Dan Burn getting outpaced time after time after time on that game because Nuno outthought Eddie that game because he changed the sides of the wingers. He changed his wingers around. He put Hudson-Odoi left. He put Elanga right. Because he knew he'd done his homework. And he said, you target Burn because you've got the pace to beat him every time. And that's what we saw. Burn getting beat every single time. And it wasn't until Burn made another error that Eddie Howe then brought him off. By then it's too late. I would have brought Burn off at half time. To me, Livramento has been absolutely fantastic. Why has he been dropped for 2 games in a row? That's one of the questions I'm asking the manager. Because when he was not playing against Luton, I thought, well, fair enough, he's resting him for Tuesday, which is great because we've got that rotation back. But we saw Dan Burn start. And as I say, once we saw Langer was on the right-hand side, I thought, oh, I'm not happy about this because we know what Langer's pace is like. But when we have a bad run, yes, we're going through a bad patch. We've got an awful away record, an absolute awful away record that needs sorting out as quickly as possible. And, and we need to sort that out as soon as we possibly can. But if we're not allowed to criticise players, manager or anything, then if I'm not allowed to do that, what is the point of me having a channel and for people to come on the channel and have their say about things if we're not allowed to criticise? Because at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, if the team has done things badly, then you call out what's been bad. We saw 3 players the other day who weren't playing well. And the thing is, at the end of the day, if Eddie Howe's playing his favourites, I'll say Eddie Howe's playing his favourites. And I'm not the only one. I'm not alone in that as well. Other people know that. You go on TTR, Paul, Billy and Alex will tell you exactly the same. At the end of the day, we are being honest. I love Newcastle with all my heart. I am a Newcastle fan through and through, thick and thin. And at the end of the day, if that team isn't playing well, then I'm going to damn well tell them they're not playing well. People are saying, oh, well, we can't say nothing about Eddie Howe. But it was all right, say, 2.5 years ago for everybody to lay into Steve Bruce. But that was fine back then. But now it's not if you call Eddie Howe. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And, as a fan base, we should be happy. I know the majority of we are happy with the ownership we've got now. We've got rid of the fat controller who totally destroyed our club. Let's be honest. This is a reason FFP's a mess through him. And the thing is, we do like to be positive, but when there is negativity around, and if there is some things wrong with performances, then those performances rightly deserve to be called out. And that's exactly what we do. Football is about opinions. If we're not allowed to have an opinion, then what is the point? What is the point? And I have a great community of people who come on this channel, and I've got some great people who come on here. We have great banter. Yes, you may get the odd troll that comes in, but they get swiftly removed. But I've got other fans from other clubs that come on here, and they're absolutely fantastic as well. Like if Daniela, Trevor, an Arsenal fan comes on as well, And I don't mind that from other fans coming on here. But if we're not allowed to say that the team's doing bad, and we're supposed to say, oh, they're doing good all the time when they're not, then to be honest with you, what is the point? So that's my little bit of a rant. But at the end of the day, we all love Newcastle United. We want to see Newcastle United at the top end of the table. We want to see us winning trophies. And as I say, when things don't go right, our performances aren't up there, we will criticise and we will say how we feel about what performance has gone where else. Like Wiroli, he loves some. He's like Dubravka, like, oh, he doesn't like it if you criticise Dubravka. But I'm like, well, sorry, Rolly, but where criticism's due, it has to be there. He does come out and he does stand in no man's land because he doesn't know what he's doing. So, that's what it's about. It's about opinions. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say on that matter. There's too much infighting. And when people keep saying, oh, well, remember where we were 2 years ago. Yes, we do remember where we were 2 years ago, Look, we've got to stop saying this, remember where we were. It's remember where we are now. We are now in the future. We are out there to make memories and, to hopefully bring trophies back to this club. But it's not going to happen overnight, And this season, we've gone out with 2 competitions in such a short space of time. Maybe down to game management. But again, if it's not there, I'm going to call it out. Simple as, Like when I said about Mickey the other day, when he should have shot. If he'd had took that shot against Forest, they don't get that equaliser. And we go in 1-0 up at half time. And that's the difference. So some people need to realise we're just trying to be real on here. We don't want Eddie sacked. Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, If PIF decided one day they're pulling the plug on Eddie and they got rid of him, there's nothing any of us can do about it. They can, if them fans want to go down there and protest at St James's Park that they're not happy Eddie's gone, then they can do that. That's up to them. But at the end of the day, it's up to the ownership. You know, the ownership will decide if and when they need to change a manager. The minute he doesn't need changing because he's done a great job for us. You know, he kept us in the division when we were basically doomed, according to every pundit going. Got us in the Champions League last season. Absolute fantastic achievement. We knew there was going to be a drop off this season. We didn't know how bad it was going to be. If we're away from it being better, we'd be higher up that table. And that's the main thing that's let us down, is the away form as well. So, right, I'm going to get into some comments and then we'll carry on with the preview. But I just wanted to put that out there. Sorry, guys, for the bit of a rant, but I just thought it has to be said because it's, you know, it's just becoming like, and I know people who have been Newcastle fans for like 50 years, and they're frightened to go on Twitter and actually say what they think because they're going to get attacked by other people and trolled. It's wrong. Shouldn't have to think like that. If you want to speak your mind, you go and speak your mind. To hell with what other people say. But that's the way it is now. And it's just so sad to see. But, you know, is some of these fans that are jumping on you, calling you negative and everything, are these actual Newcastle fans? Or have these just jumped on because of the takeover? That's the thing, you know? So I'm going to go on to some of the comments and we'll see what people are saying. Yeah, I'm alright, Ronald, you, mate. Troll says, if I was a worker of the year for 11 months and then slumped to one, be the worst, of course, I'm going to get critics. The same goes for our players and manager. Absolutely, Trolls. Well said, mate. Tony Ross says, if we play crappy, see how it is. Absolutely. I'm not going to shy away from it. Absolutely not. There was a bloke who was probably not a fan called Anonymous talking shit on TTR, and then he got blocked. Yeah, I saw that, Mason. And yeah, absolutely, mate. It's wrong that you're not allowed to see anything wrong, or you're not supposed to see anything wrong. You're supposed to just be politically correct and see everything's rosy. Well, it's not. Sorry. I think there's a big difference between knowledgeable and constructive criticism and hate. It's important to separate the two. Absolutely, David. Well said, mate. Lewis says, we may just be on a bit of a dip. It happens in every football team. It does, Lewis. But the thing is, though, Lewis, at the end of the day, if the team's not performing well, or certain players are not performing well, you know, then you question it. Like some people are questioning Eddie Howe's substitutions, you know. You look at Callum Wilson the other day, he came on at 55 minutes. Once it got 85 minutes, Callum Wilson started running around everywhere, out the left, out the right and everything. Why didn't he do that from the start when he come on? Why has he waited till 85 minutes when we're 3-1 down? You know, things like that. The Saudis don't like messing about. That's the problem. Absolutely, Mason. And that's the thing. When they've got an investment in something, if that investment isn't doing well, they make a change. And there's no sentiment to the Saudis, you know. No matter how much we all love Eddie Howe, if they think he's not performing to the best of his ability and their investment's dropping, they're going to make a change. And they're not going to think, oh, you know, if we get rid of Eddie Howe, then fans aren't going to be happy. They're not bothered about that. They're going to make the change that they think will be better for them. And that's how they do these things. That's how they're so successful. Aaron the Brit, speak your mind, Tony, mate. Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Ronald says, how are you, Tony? We've seen some crap in the 80s, man. I and many others were in sparse crowds them days. I remember turning up to a cup match and abandoned about 10,000 and return half price 30. Yeah, I mean, look, back in the day when you used to criticise, you didn't have all this social media, though. That's the problem, isn't it? Wonder how Maxi would have been on the right wing. He isn't as easy to bully as Miggy, though. Yeah, but Maxi was injury prone, wasn't he? Me two pals seen the lines at the turnstiles and they were like, fuck off, and walked in the front. I was a big kid at 15. Favourites, I think, says Tony Ross. Call it as you see. It says key 88. Absolutely, mate. Definitely. Yeah, Eddie left burnt out to dry. Maybe he did it. He should have. I think he should have come off at half time. In all honesty, I think he should have. But if he comes off at half time, does Chris Wood get that second goal? We can't really say yes or no. But it is what it is. Majority of fans, says Aaron the Brit, want to hear positive things. You need to call out things, especially if you aren't going in your favour. You need to be ruthless. Absolutely. And that's why I want to see off Eddie on Monday. I want to see Eddie being ruthless as well. Well said, Tony. Thank you very much. Blakey, hi mate. He says, too many people crying whenever anyone criticises a team or a manager. Fans can criticise if they want. If you don't like it, tough shit. Yeah. I mean, I used to have a season ticket. But, yes, I regret giving it up now. But, at the same time, I was paying for a season ticket and I was having to watch the crap that Ashley kept putting out in that club, And I got to a stage where I just thought, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm paying my money here to turn up and watch the team scrape to either stay in the Premier League, And I thought, I've had enough. We got the change for the better, and a lot of fans are still not happy. We might go 10th tonight. Don't think Brighton will win. Well, it'll be 9th, trolls it would be. But if Brighton win, we go 9th. And then at the weekend, if Chelsea, Wolves and Bournemouth win, they're all within a point of us. Shit, we may go even further down with the fixtures we have coming, so it's scary period. Ronald says, I didn't want Eddie sacked, but I criticise him and praise him and all. Had a few on other channels praising Eddie with my criticism, and that's their opinion. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well said, Ronald. Blakey says, I have to say that Alex on TTR doesn't respect opinions that differ to his own. He's an arrogant, in my opinion. He isn't always right. That's it. That's what it's all about, opinions. But yeah, sometimes people aren't always right, and that's the thing. The problem is anyone can see anything online, and it's other people pretend to be Newcastle fans. Well said, Jake. Absolutely. Hi, Clive. Hope you're well. Troll says, we can end up 13th, 14th from what I saw at the table if we lose to Liverpool, City and Villa. That's scary, isn't it? Dirk Digler says, lol, Mickey Almiron has scored more goals than Jack Grealish, Doku and Moussa Diaby so far this season. He has, but the thing is, though, his standards are not there like they were last season. What he should have done last season, from last season, when he was having his own goal of the month competition, what he should have been striving for was, right, okay, I was great last season, but I want to be better this season. And that's what we haven't seen. In fact, we've seen Miggy go backwards this season rather than going forwards. And that's why we're all crying out for. I think if Jacob Murphy was fit, he would be playing a lot more games. And then maybe it'd be rotating the two of them. You could put down this Mickey played too many games and it's affecting him. I don't know. But all we need to know is Mickey needs to come out this team now. Thanks, Lewis. He says, yep, we're in a relegation battle. Forest and Luton are catching us. Well, I don't think they'll catch us, but yeah. Forest may do. I mean, look, the only saving grace is Chelsea might not be within a point of us at the weekend because Luton might beat them because they've got to go to Luton Town, and that's not an easy place to go to, as we know. Miggy has scored, but he has been awful of late, and it's what a player does now that matters, not yesterday's news. Absolutely, trolls. Ronald says, what surprises me is some that didn't understand how big the derby is, though. War rivalry is real, like we didn't need religion neither. Absolutely. It's, we all know it's a massive game, that. It's going to be a massive game. Tiredness, he's played in every game right until the end. That's what I'm saying. If Murphy had been fit, possibly they rotate them. Almiron should be looking at getting 15 goals. He should be, but, and assists as well. He should be getting assists, but he's not. I would love to see Almiron played left, if I'm honest. But, Gordon's doing a great job on that side, so he can't take this place. Mad Max says, this is my favourite channel because of its honest and friendly debates without putting out the sympathy vote for super chats every 5 minutes long. May it continue. Cheers, Mad Mag. Thank you very much indeed, mate. How could have played the same some youth players in some games for 20 or 30 minutes to keep the players fit, but that didn't happen. Exactly, Trolls. Exactly what I said yesterday. Rowley disagreed with me. Said, no, I'm wrong to say that. I wanted to see Alex Murphy come in for some games because I think he looked good in pre-season. But no, according to Rowley, oh no, you can't put him in if Eddie doesn't think he's good enough. Well, if Eddie doesn't think he's good enough, why is he on the bench then? You know? And as far as I'm concerned, that's the whole idea of having youth team players. I mean, look at Kwanzaa. He's playing at the minute for Liverpool. You know? They just put him in the team. I think, didn't he come on against us this season when we lost 2-1 to them at home? You know, so you've just got to be bold and brave and just put them in and just hope for the best that they play well. If they don't, and you think, right, okay. But against Luton or somebody, we could have played a couple of youngsters. Why not? You know, I just don't get it, really. Bia says, Saudis ain't going to mess around in this window and can see a 3 or 4 coming in. Absolutely, Bia. I don't think they'll be messing around, not in this window. Because minimum, the Saudis will want European football this season because that brings in money. And they'll want European football. It might not be out there in the public domain, but, you know, that's what they'll probably be looking for. 12th man, hi mate, he says, I'm generally worried for how I feel he may not make it to February, which I don't think will be his fault. Genuinely rate him so highly. Do you know what? Again, that's a fair comment to make. Look, we've got a tough run of games coming up. You know, we've got the derby coming up. First of all, we got Liverpool, Derby, Man City, Villa. It's not easy. Not easy by the stretch of any imagination. Last season, we got tonked at Villa 3-0. Can see 2 or 3 go out to, because of FFP. Yeah, let's hope so. Jake says, let's go for Elise. Do you know what? I would love Michael Elise at the club. I really would. I think he's a terrific right winger. But again, Palace probably don't let him go in January. I think they'd want too much money for him, in all honesty. Bia says, for me, the young prospects, you integrate them slowly or you send them out on loan to improve. I mean, look, I've seen Ben Parkinson in the squad a few times this season and playing. Blakey says, I'd definitely stick with how this season he has to be more proactive and not reactive to what's happening in a game with subs, etc. Absolutely, Blakey. I'm not a how-out guy. I want to see, like I said at the start, I want to see Eddie Howe succeed and bring trophies to this club. But if one day PIF decide they don't think he is the right man and they make a change, I respect their decision because that's, you know, the end of the day, it's their club, you know, and it's their investment. And at the end of the day, they make the decisions, you know. Yasser Al-Ramayan isn't chairman of PIF for no reason. He's up there because he makes big decisions. I want Garassi, not Solanke. Garassi, 30 million euro. Solanke because of his form, 50 million pounds. I mean, yeah, look, Bournemouth would want a lot for Solanke. He has played well. Garassi, you'd get him for about 15 million quid. Apparently, that's his release clause. Whether he's in our thoughts or not, we do not know. 12th man says, my big thing with how this season is he's still using players that aren't his. He's making his signings, and his signings, when they play, perform well. Look at Botman, Bruno, Pope and Gordon. Yeah. I mean, Botman wasn't to blame for any of those goals the other day. You know, he's trying to prevent more than anything. Sher didn't have his greatest of games, but again, he's just come back from an injury. Is he fully fit? That's the thing. Gordon played well first half, tailed off second half, but again, Gordon doesn't look like he's fully fit. He's knackered. He's not got anybody to help him out on the left. You know, we've got Matt Ritchie, but Jesus, we shouldn't be having to call him Matt Ritchie. Just missed a comment there as I went to click on it. Ronald says, we all want us to get to Anfield and get a result, but current form, it doesn't look good. It would be typical Newcastle to surprise us, so you never know. Do you know what, Ronald? That's true. That's what I'm even thinking. You never know. We could just go there and get a result and it just be like, boom. At this point, I'm on the fence when it comes to how to be honest as Trolls. That's fair enough, mate. He needs his chance with these players. Bruce era players are letting Howe down. Last season they performed the best they'll ever perform, and asking of them again this season is too big. Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, look, like Jamal Lascelles has done really well for us. Now he's out of contract in the summer, and Howe's saying, he's part of the future. And I'm like, if we want to go up the next level, players like Jamal Lascelles have to be moved on and have to be replaced with better players, because you're never going to get that. Is Jamal Lascelles the player to keep you in the top four season in, season out? Not really, no. And that's not being harsh. Heard Botman's stats and just wow. Yeah, absolutely. Bakayoko would be great for you. Scary looking winger, says Aaron. Yeah, absolutely, mate. 12th man says, I think a lot of our players are playing through injuries. Otherwise, we'd be fielding a team full of youngsters. It's well known that injured players just get injections and get on with it, which is bad. Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% Eddie in. Absolutely. Do it, Paul, Tony, Eddie, no out. I can do it. I can put one up there for you if you. I haven't got a. Just bear with me, and I shall add one on there for you. Right, I'm just putting that poll up there now, guys. So the question I've put on is, should Eddie Howe stay? Yes or no? Okay, so there's the poll going up in the chat now. So there's the poll. So people can get voting on that if you want, and see results before the end of the show. I won't judge Howe on how we do against Liverpool, City and Villa, but if we lose the scum as well, then he'll be under huge pressure. That's the way it goes. You need to win games, and we are on a bad run. Absolutely. Totally agree with that, Blakey. And not only that, if you look at the last two campaigns of the FA Cup, we've gone out the third round to League One clubs, Cambridge and Sheffield Wednesday, respectively. Look, the Cambridge one we took in some ways. It was a bad result, getting beat 1-0 off Cambridge, but it helped us out that season because it meant we stayed in the Premier League, which was probably far more important than the cup run. Last season, we should have beat Sheffield Wednesday. We didn't. That's when Chris Wood missed a huge chance for us. But look, we should beat Sunderland. Trolls, I don't want Eddie Howe out. Just hope he picks the team up. He has to now. Apparently, the competition for us with Calvin Phillips is Juventus, Everton, and Palace. If we won him, we should get him surely. Apparently, Juventus we're apparently beating the Juventus to him. Everton won't get anywhere near him, and I can't see him going to Palace either. Not if Roy Hodgson's the next manager out. I'll be dependent on the way we lose, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, look, Ten Hag, and obviously Roy Hodgson are probably up there as the two favourite managers to be sacked next, or to leave that job in the Premier League. I've seen a lot of Palace fans, they want rid of Roy Hodgson, and because they haven't won a game since October. And that's the thing, when you haven't won a game since October, the pressure seriously is on the manager, and I can see why Palace fans want rid of Roy Hodgson. He's 76-year-old. The guy should be retired, and they're all wanting Steve Cooper. So the latest odds at the moment, this is for the next manager to leave in the Premier League, and this is according to Sky Bet. Roy Hodgson's top of that list, 2-1 on to be sacked, to go. Boom. Followed by Eric Ten Hag at 5-2. Then followed by Vincent Kompany at 5-1. I mean, I'm surprised Kompany's still in the job, to be honest with you. Eddie Howe is fourth on that list at 11-2. And then it's Maurizio Pochettino at 10-1. I mean, look, at the end of the day, what other clubs want to do with their managers is up to them. But, you know, as long as we're all right, that's the main thing, isn't it? If we sit back and do nothing these games, I will criticise. If we work hard, I'll be proud. Well, that's what I've been disappointed with, the way we're sitting back in games. It's not right. How in Almiron out, says David. Yeah, fair enough. I don't want to lose Sunderland, but if we do get beat against Sunderland, it might help us in the Premier League. Jesus, don't say that, Lewis. Lewis, we can't get beat against Sunderland, mate. Because can you imagine? Those Mackhams down the road will never shut up about it. They will keep going on and on and on, and we can't have that. So no, I won't accept that, Lewis. Fair point, Rose. There's no fight. That would be very worrying. Hodgson then says beer. Why? Love the team, but how the club is no doubt about that. Who do people want in if Eddie was to be sacked? Well, look. I mean, look, yeah. I wouldn't want Mourinho. Let's just be honest with that one. I wouldn't want Mourinho. I think Mourinho's done at Premier League level. I think he's done all he can now. Yes, we know he likes Newcastle because of Sir Bobby Robson, because Sir Bobby Robson was his boss at the time, and he learned a lot from Sir Bobby, which is absolutely brilliant from what he learned from Bobby. And he said that made him become a manager and a better manager because of what he learned from Bobby. Because Bobby is a legend. Now, there are some good managers out there. Now, one that comes close to me that I would think could maybe come in, and I'm not saying that, by the way, if anybody just tunes in, Eddie Howe hasn't gone. We don't want Eddie Howe out. It's just a question somebody has asked in the chat. I would say the first one that comes to mind is because the Saudis could probably pull this one off straight away, and that is Roberto Mancini in charge of Saudi Arabia, a national team. And Aaron is a Man City fan. Now then, if you look at it, Mancini did a great job with Man City. He's a good manager. He's an elite manager. So I would say if it was Mancini, that would be unreal. If it's not Mancini, then you've got to look at either Hansi Flick. Yes, he got sacked by Germany, but he was one of Bayern Munich's most successful managers. So, again, and Xabi Alonso, who's doing so well for Bayer Leverkusen. So there is managers out there. But again, Eddie Howe is still manager of this football club. But, it's a fair question to ask. And, just to see where people's ideas are, Let's go into the chat and see what people say. Her flick says just wasn't he? Hello, Jason Tyndall. Well, Jason Tyndall's already had a go at management, and that didn't go well at Bournemouth, did it? Lewis says, yeah, true, we'd be the laughing stock forever and never. Please, let's be Sun and play the kids against Liverpool. 12th man says, Eddie Howe lives and breathes football. There's nobody in the world apart from Guardiola that I'd take apart from Howe. Yeah, absolutely, mate. John Sinclair. Xabi Alonso says, Aaron, yeah. Afternoon, Tony. Good afternoon, Ian. Hope you're well. Alonso would be a great appointment. What a job he's doing at Leverkusen. Absolutely. David says, I think Mourinho's got one more go and he would love to manage Newcastle. His heart would actually be in it, but I hope Howe succeeds. Yeah, exactly. Don't get how people are so ignorant to the issues we're going through this season. We had probably the hardest fixture list in the world football since the start of the season, excluding January. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've beaten Arsenal at home, we've beaten Man United at home, we've beaten Chelsea at home. So yeah, it hasn't been easy, and we haven't had it easy in the cups either. I mean, we beat Paris Saint-Germain at home. The only problem is we didn't use game management against AC Milan. Had we used game management, we could have either won that game or been in the Europa League. And, that's what we should have done. BS says Mahrez swap deal for Almiron. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Top choice, love him. I think he means Mancini. Archer, good evening, Tony. I think we might get beat off Liverpool, but got to beat Sunderland. I think Phillips could be on his way. 7.5 million loan deal, but Man City want 40 million. Yeah, I've seen some people say 7.5 million is a lot of money for a player, but you're getting them on loan. You go and find a DM of Calvin Phillips quality for £7.5 million on a permanent, and you'll struggle because you won't. JB says Zidane. Saka when you've got a ride on your hands, says Jake. Well, I don't know what would happen. Be a meltdown, I know that. Troll says we know that we have injuries, but House played the same players on the start and never gave some youth 20 or 30 minutes. That's what I'm saying. But again, I said this to Rowley yesterday, and Rowley wasn't having it. And it was like, I just couldn't win the fight yesterday against Rowley over youngsters. John Carver, Paul Gallant. Jesus. Peter Merryfeld, good afternoon. I think the Howe has done his job and kept us up, but can't take us any further. Do you know what, Peter? That's a fair point. I mean, look, we've seen it before happen at clubs. Some managers will take a club as far as they can, and, they then move on to another club and maybe do better for another club. We see that quite often, Look, we saw Man City when they got taken over. They had Hughes, and then obviously they moved him on. I think they used Mark Hughes as what they call a transitional manager. And then they went on after that. But yeah, I see what you mean by that point, Peter. And that's fair enough, mate. Absolutely. Steve Bruce, I'll get me caught. It's individual errors that's been letting us down. Bruno should have took down the player who was on the counter against Milan, but he let them go and scored from it. Same from trips on Boxing Day. Yeah, I mean, look, if you go back that game for when Wood gets his second goal, Isak took the player down trying to do a tactical foul. It didn't work. The referee played on advantage. But yeah, I can see what you mean. Tony Mowbray, I don't think so, Jake, but yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi, Predator. I hope well. Billy F says we should sell the likes of Lascelles, Dubs and Miggy while they've still got some value. Every little helps towards FFP. If we got the replacements, yeah, I totally agree with that one. I would absolutely. 12th man says my only issues with youngsters debate is people wouldn't have complained that he's not playing the experience the Ronas youngsters could have made it worse. We're not saying play a team full of youngsters, but just play a couple of them. I mean, Alex Murphy's played in pre-season and he's played some minutes in the Premier League. I would have given him a go. I'd have loved to play the youngsters, but that have played in pre-season no further than that. Ron says, I'm not being harsh, but it's no coincidence our dip performance Dubravka came in for Pope. I mean, look, yeah, he hasn't helped. Does the defence trust Dubravka? And that is the thing. Do they trust him? And I don't think they do. But if you watch Dubravka, and okay, he's picked up a little bit. He had a good game against Luton, let's be honest. But if you look at Dubravka, it's when he comes out. He comes out, he goes back, comes out, goes back, and then he just stops. And he's like in no man's land. And then he's like, oh, what do I do? And he looks like a rabbit in headlights at times. So we need a goalkeeper who's confident of coming out and who's confident of being a sweeper keeper, like Nick Pope is. But definitely, Dubravka is not that type of keeper. As I say, somebody's put out on Twitter that apparently the club are talking to De Gea. Hopefully that's true. If it is, look, if I have to pay £6 million in wages for De Gea till the end of the season, so be it. He's a quality goalkeeper. He got Golden Glove last season. He kept 18 clean sheets. And then Man U decided to ditch him and go for an honour. I do think if they had De Gea in goal, they'd probably be a bit further up that league. But, they decided they wanted to go in a different direction. So, yeah. Blakey says, bring Ozzy back. No, thank you. No. Did not like Ozzy Ardiles when he was at Newcastle. Now, he tried to play too many youngsters and it backfired. Dubs hesitates too much and that makes the defence shaky. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, who can we sell to produce money for the transfer window? Miggy and Dubs is my only players of note who will produce anything in the millions that aren't currently useful to the squad. I mean, in the summer, because obviously not January, but I would say in the summer, if we've got, say, well, linked with Jonathan David, say if he comes in the January window, and then say in the summer we buy another striker, Callum Wilson's a sellable asset because he'd still do a job somewhere, so you'd probably still get something for Callum Wilson. So that might not be a bad idea in the summer window. If we bring another striker and we got 3 strikers, well, if we've got 4 strikers, we can get rid of one, which is Wilson. So you'd be the natural sellable asset. And you'd probably still get 20 million for Wilson. Because the only problem with Wilson is, look, I think Wilson's a great striker, but he just can't stay fit. That's the only problem. If Wilson could stay fit, then yes, absolutely. But, you know, if he stayed fit, you'd get 20 plus goals a season off Wilson, but he doesn't do that. Love Wilson, too injury prone. Isak's not a striker, so we'd be without a striker. Yeah, Isak isn't, is he? He's more of a wide forward than a striker. Go for Trafford in the future. Not a bad shout. This window will almost be all loan deals come the summer. We'll have the FFP shackles taken off and we'll spend big. I think we will as well, yeah. Absolutely, without a doubt. But yeah, we definitely need to look at definitely another goalkeeper in this window. Because Dubravka just does not look right at all, does he? We're looking at the poll at the moment, and 80% are saying, 91% says yes, Eddie Howe should stay, and 9% are saying no. So there we go. But again, it's all about opinions. So we head to Anfield on Monday, New Year's Day. You know, it feels like a bit of a hangover that we were getting beat at the moment, and you know, let's hope we're not on too much of a hangover after New Year's Eve. But to be honest with you, it's going to be a hard game down there because Liverpool are playing very well at the moment. And one man in particular who is really playing well for Liverpool and, you know, could have gone in the summer to the Saudi Arabia Premier League, and but he stayed because Liverpool kept resisting. And it's this man here who's standing in front of me, Mo Salah. He's on fire for Liverpool, along with Szoboszlai and a lot of other players in that team. They are playing really well at the moment. Now, somebody asked, is he off to the AFCON? Well, he will be, but I think it's after the game on Monday, I think, when they go, because I'm not sure when it starts, the AFCON, to be fair. So I think he'll be to play on Monday, but then he'd go after that game. Salah has been immense for Liverpool this season, you know. So he's somebody we're going to be aware of. So my only hope is that on Monday, when the team's picked, Burns not playing and Livramento is playing in place of him, or Lewis Hall, because we need to have somebody up there who's got pace who can keep up with him. If Burns playing, I'm sorry, it's a no-go. But yeah, I mean, look, if I was to make changes to that team on Monday, there's 3 changes I would definitely make on Monday. Burn, Longstaff, Almiron out. I would bring in Lewis Hall. Give the guy a chance. Bring him in left back, Lewis Hall. Joe Linton back into the midfield 3. And I'll play Livramento as a right winger. But he wouldn't just have to be a right winger. He can play a right back as well. So what you can do during that game, with him and Trippier, they can both swap over during the game frequently. So at one point you could have Trippier as a right winger and you can have Livramento as a right back. So you've got that bit of fluidity on the right-hand side. That's what I would do. If you wanted to take Dubravka out, would you play Karius against his old club? Now, what a story that would be if Karius played. Now then, I'm not, this is probably Roy of the Rover stuff, what I'm going to say here. But what a story it would be if Karius came in, had an absolute blinder, saved every shot Liverpool threw at him, and we nicked that game 1-0 and won it, and Karius has a worldie. What a story that would be. That would shut a lot of people up, wouldn't it? Especially the pundits who all slate Karius. I'm not saying that's going to happen, of course, because obviously it's not, because Dubravka's probably going to keep his place in goal. But those three changes are the changes I would make. Do you agree with those changes? Would you make those changes? Or is there any other changes that you think we should make? But I would definitely take out Byrne, Longstaff and Almiron and replace them with Hall, Joe Linton and Livramento. Uh, 12th man says, left wing Isak, right wing Gordon, buy a striker in January, another in the summer to replace Wilson when he goes, maybe even Barnes left, Gordon right with Isak down the middle. Yeah. I mean, we desperately need Harvey Barnes back, but he's another few weeks away yet. As much as Isak isn't a striker. Blakey says, still too many players on the Bruce era which need to go in the summer. Yeah. The likes of Lascelles. The likes of Kraft will probably go in the summer. I know Eddie said he wants to keep a hold of Lascelles, but I'm sorry, you need to upgrade Lascelles. He's been great for us. He's played good football for us, but he isn't the defender that's going to take you to the next level, and that's what Eddie Howe's got to look at now. In the January, when we do the new Premier League squad in January, Eddie Howe's got to say to Matt Ritchie and Paul Dummett, you're not in the next squad. You can either go and find another club now, or you can stay and train for the rest of the season, but that's all you'll be doing. Be ruthless. No more room for sentiment now. Isak has scored 10 all competitions from a striker position, none from the wing. AFCON starts on the 13th with Egypt playing on the 14th. Okay, then so possibly could play Monday and possibly the FA Cup game against Arsenal, and then he'd be off. Livramento absolutely needs to be up against Salah. Yeah, I would say so. I can see Liverpool scoring 4 or 5 against us if we don't put in a performance. Well, yeah, exactly. Peter says we have 3 big games to come: Liverpool, Man City and Villa. And between those two, we have an FA Cup against the Mackhams. Absolutely, mate. And it's a massive month. January is. Man City, could we sneak a point with them at home? Look, we played well last season. We drew 3-3. What was a cracking game last season, by the way. Probably one of the best games of the season in the Premier League. Man City's been a bit hit and miss this season. But again, typical us, having a bad run. We could all of a sudden just go to Liverpool and snatch a result there, and then that could be the catalyst that pushes us on. Who knows? But it's a huge month there, Peter. Absolutely, mate. Trevor says, are the Toons signing David De Gea? Well, there's rumours that they're supposed to be going to talk to him, but again, it's just rumours. We don't know yet. Gary says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Gary. Hope you're well. Troll says, Howe doesn't seem to want to play keeper. That's very good. Karius on the bench and uses nearly a 35-year-old decent keeper instead. Makes no sense, and Karius looked more like Pope when he played. I mean, look, Karius had that Carabao Cup final. And I didn't think Karius played too bad in that final, let's be honest. The media tried to screw him over before the game started because he made a fumble in warming up. And all of a sudden, the Daily Express put out there, Karius has a howler in the warm-up. That doesn't bode well for the game starting. And I thought, well, go on, knock somebody's confidence while they're already down, But I thought he had a good game. Yes, he couldn't do nothing about the 2 goals. The first one, no keeper was getting near that, and Casemiro header. And for the Rashford goal, it was unlucky because he would have saved it if it didn't hit Botman's foot. But he did pull off some good saves in the second half, especially from Bruno Fernandes. I'd keep Lascelles another year. He's definitely proven himself to be a worthy backup, but no doubt a fantastic, inspiring captain behind the scenes. Yeah, there's that as well, yeah. We haven't won at Anfield in the league since our first season, 93-94. Who remember Steve Watson's goal in the League Cup? Yeah, absolutely. That's a long time ago, isn't it? Why is Eddie choosing Dubravka or Karius, though? There has to be a reason for it. He did get to see a Christmas message, so not totally being left with Sunderland, maybe. Maybe. If Burn starts ahead of Tino, how really play his favourites? Well, Eddie Howe says apparently he's going to make some changes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's a long break before the Villa game, so we have some players back by then. Yeah, because it's our late winter break, isn't it? I think Liverpool are going to do us so what we did to Sheffield United. Oh, let's hope not, Gary. Please don't say that. I think some of the players need to kick up the arse. Sorry for saying, says Trevor. No, absolutely, mate. You're absolutely right. What about your keeper getting sent off the other day, Melia? Against Preston, shoving a player in the face. Right in front of the referee as well, you know. If you want to do something like that, don't do it right in front of the referee's face. Billy F says, I'll play Tino at left back, Gordon right wing, Joe Linton, and left wing Hall. Do you know what? That's not a bad shout, mate. Not a bad shout. No break if we get to the 4th round. That's the weekend before. Oh, okay. A cup run would be a nice distraction from the league. Yes, it would be, absolutely. Needs knocking out. I mean, look, I think it's going to be a difficult game against Liverpool, let's be honest, and it's not going to be easy. Bias says, I think we'll put in a performance against Liverpool. It's not going to be an easy game. As I say, Salah's on fire. The whole Liverpool team's on fire. In fact, I mean, Trent Alexander's on fire at the minute. I mean, if you watch the way he's played the other day, look at the way he was putting them balls around from like a quarterback position. He just pings it around. It seems like he's found a new role now. Maybe this is because Southgate started playing him in a midfield role for England, and now Klopp seems to be adopting that as well. And he just seems to be, his game seems to have just gone up another level. Liverpool are beatable. I mean, remember, Fulham went there and only lost 4-3. So, you know, that they can be on odds for, they can be on odds for conceding goals. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. My head says we can go there and get a 1-1 draw. Sorry, my heart says we can go there and get a 1-1 draw. But my head says we don't win anything. We come away with a defeat. I'm probably being kind here when I say this for my defeat score, but I think if we do lose, we lose 3-1. Maybe people are thinking, wow, 3-1, is that all you're saying? You know, you probably expect me to say a lot more than that. But, yeah, that's what I'm going for. I think we'll lose 3-1, but my heart says a 1-1 draw, which I would love to know, which I would love to have. Gordon can get a Trent if he's fit enough. Yeah, absolutely. Gordon might have something to prove, because remember, originally he was at Liverpool and he went across to Everton, didn't he? Aaron says, yeah, you usually do well against us. Being City, especially at St James's Park, should be a good game. Let's hope so. We need Big Joe. Yes, we do. We need him in that midfield. Peter says, do you remember our 2-4-3 games in the KK era? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, heartbreak they were, especially when Stan Collymore scored, and it was like, no, you know. Billy says, we've always played really well against bigger teams. Let's hope it's the case. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Ronald says, my heart says we can win there, but my head says we can win there, lol. Yeah, well, let's hope, mate. Troll says 4-0 to Liverpool. Hope we get some magic going, but can't see it happening, unfortunately. I feel sorry for the players and annoyed with the fans. Half the players are coming back from injury and the squad can't train properly, and all the people do is call them shite if all of a sudden. It's not that we're calling them shite all of a sudden, Gary. It's what it is some performances are not there, mate. I mean, look, Miggy Almiron has not been on it. I mean, why the hell doesn't he take a shot? And not only in that game against Forest does he not only take, he doesn't take the shot, but then beggars belief in the second half. You try to score an own goal and say, what the hell's he doing? Thankfully, the Forest made a great defensive block for us. Because if that Forest player wasn't in the way, Miggy would have scored an own goal. Did he forget where he was? Did he forget he was in, that it was our defence that it was our goal he was trying to score against, or did he think it was the Forest goal? But geez, honestly, I thought, thank God that didn't go, and that would have been really embarrassing. Amit, hi to you, mate. Hope you're well. And if you're new to the channel, do smash that subscribe and do smash a like as well. Thank you very much. I was a bit bemused by that when he was trying. And I think, what's he trying to do here? But yeah, thankfully the first player was in the way and made a great defensive block for us. I just didn't get what Mickey Almiron was trying to do there. But yeah, this is going to be, like I say, it's going to be a tough game. I would love us to go there and win it. I really would. But I just can't see it, because if you look in that midfield, that massive gap we left in midfield, Liverpool's going to exploit that like Forest did. Billy says Miggy's short passing's been shocking also. Joel says Miggy was close to scoring an own goal now for us. Yeah, absolutely. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I just thought, what's he doing? But yeah, if I was to... But that's the thing. You look at the team and you just think, who do we play? Who do we put in? And we haven't got the options, to be fair. I mean, you could maybe play Kraft at right back and play Trippier as a right winger. That might work. That's the thing when we've got these injuries. The squad isn't big enough. And we can see the squad isn't big enough. So... in a moment, I'm going to put up my team, which I think would do well against... team I would put out against Liverpool. I'll bring that up on screen in one moment. But, I thought even the other day, Cher didn't look on it, but maybe he's not 100% fit, Botman looked okay, but remember, he's just coming back from injury as well. So he's been out for quite a while, as Sven Botman. I think Miley will have a good game in midfield. I think he'll do really well, Lewis Miley. Alongside Bruno. Remember, Bruno's trying to do all the defensive work as well as the attacking, and he can't do it all on his own. Needs a bit of help. And that's why we seriously need a DM to protect the back four. So I'm going to put my team up in a moment, who I think will be a good team. Or a team anyway, at least that can compete out there. Miggy was closer to scoring, yeah. Gary says, Tony, I felt exactly the same with that Miggy moment. Where was his header? I don't know. I really don't know. Diallo might play as a right wing. He's rapid, says Trolls. Can't do any worse, can he? I remember my old school pal Claire playing lasses basketball, and she went dribbled past everyone, dunked straight in her own hoop. That sounds wrong. Yeah, a bit, Ronald. Yeah. Evening, Tony, and everyone. How are you all keeping? Yeah, very well, Lee. How are you, mate? Hope you're well too. Joel says, well, Ronald, can't say that. Well done to her for putting it in her own hoop. Honestly, it's, yeah, really is, isn't it? It's just, yeah. But well, like I say, I'm going to put this team up in just one moment, as I say. And so I'm just typing it up now and see if you agree with this team for Monday. If you think this team would do well enough on Monday. And see what you think of it. So I'll just bear with me, guys, while I sort this out. And it's right. If I put it into my thing, and then I'll put it on screen for you. God. Nope. Might have to just bring it up as a share screen. So just bear with me while I share this screen. Right. Does normally work quickly, but hang on. Let's have a look. Right. Yeah, we go. Okay, so it's going to come on anytime. Right, I'll take that comment off, and then you can see when I scroll it up. So that's the team I've gone for there on screen. So obviously I've gone Dubravka in goal with a back four of Trippier, Shea, Botman, Livramento. Midfield three of Lewis Miley, Bruno and Joe Linton. On the right wing, I've put Anthony Gordon. In the middle, Isak. And on the left wing, Lewis Hall. I don't think that's a bad team. You're making your changes, and I don't think that's too bad of a team. I think that could be a good team for Monday. Just freshens things up a little bit, and and it just takes some players out the firing line, likes of Dan Burn. Dan Burn is not a left back. Let's be honest, he's more of a centre back. We know he likes to play because he's the local lad, same as Sean Longstaff. But I'm sorry, again, no room for sentiment now. We've got to start making changes for the better. And if Eddie went and picked the same team and put out against Liverpool, I'm sorry, that would be criminal and we would get absolutely slaughtered. Can you imagine Salah against Dan Burn? No, I don't even want to imagine that because that would be carnage. That would be absolute carnage. So I think for the good of the team, I think he's got to make some changes. And that's the changes I would make um, as well. But I want to see Lewis Hall get some minutes because that lad's coming on far too late, and he's not really having an impact in games. Against Man United at Old Trafford, he was immense. He played well. He scored a great goal, you know. Right, let's go into some comments. Next season, DM Phillips, Tonali, Bruno, and Yates. Thoughts? That's not a bad shout, maybe. Yeah, good shout, JB. If J7 starts, it will be for Miley. Midfield will be tough battle for us. Experience needed. Yeah, but Miley's played well. Remember, Miley played well against PSG. And, to be honest with you, I think he played well against Liverpool, in all honesty. He hasn't done too bad. Miggy should be a bench player. Bring him on. Probably play better. I'm doing great, thanks. Yeah, Lee, I've got to agree because, look, I've always said this. Play Miggy is an impact sub. Bring him on 70 minutes when a team's tiring because the energy he's got, run rings around them. Gary says, I've noticed hoops come in different sizes, Ronald. Jesus. Lee says, could do with a training ground sponsor for more money. Yeah, absolutely. And a training kit sponsor as well. Looks good, says Trolls. Yeah, thanks, mate. Billy says, I agree 100%. Looks a good team. Plenty of balls going in the middle. More chance of scoring. Absolutely. Yes, Tony, this is what I've been saying with Hall. He's got better ball control and skill than Miggy and can put in a great cross. Absolutely. Keir Stommer is a perfect arsehole guy. Jesus. Salah would run through the legs of Burn. Yeah, he would. Rowley. Hi, Rowley. Hope you're well, mate. I wouldn't play Hall at left wing. If he plays, it'll be left midfield. I am surprised he didn't go for Karius in goal. Well, I just don't think he's going to start Karius, is he? So every time I say Karius will start, he'll play Dubravka, the worst keeper at the club. Well, he's not the worst keeper at the club because Gillespie is. Longy's been awfully late. He has, absolutely. Longstaff was anonymous. Yeah, he was, absolutely. Tony, I forgot to take out Dubs. Well, I was thinking putting Karius in there, but I'm thinking I don't think he would, though, would he? That's the thing. Hall and Joe Linton could switch like Willock and Joe Linton do. Yeah, because Hall can play in the midfield as well. That's the thing. Lewis Hall can play in 6 different positions. Mikey Wynn says, I'd love to know who the 5% are that want how Mackham bastards. Probably are. Yeah, they probably are. They've probably Mackhams who've come on the channel and probably thought, oh, look, let's put on there. Yeah. Peter says, that's a good team. My only question is Trippier making too many mistakes. Let's be honest, Trippier was fair enough when he made that interview the other day and he said, look, he held his hands up and said, look, I haven't been great. He feels as if he's been responsible for a lot of mistakes. And you know what? I'll take that all day. I'm happy that he's come out and actually admitted that. And I say fair play to him for doing that. We could see a different Trippier from now on. But yeah, who else can we really put there? Kraft we could have put there, couldn't we? Hall would rotate with Joe Linton, says Billy F. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Lee says, Timmins early, don't get a chance of warming up. Timmins can go fast when you're on the pitch, absolutely. Longy didn't win one ground duel against Forest. No, he didn't. Miggy is very questionable too, though. Yeah, he is. I mean, look, if you didn't want to play Trippier in that in that game, you could always change him for somebody else. But yeah, that I don't think that's a bad team. I think that would be a decent enough team. I really do. I definitely think that's a team that could try and get a result down at Liverpool. I know Rowley's saying he wouldn't play Lewis Hall on the left, but look, I don't think that's a bad team in all honesty. I really don't. BS says Sean Longstaff last seen getting off a coach in Luton. Oh, Jesus. Trips was a fault for the Villa goal on the first day. It's not just recent. Yeah, absolutely. But first we need to step up our game, though. Yeah, we do. Definitely do need to step up our game. War crossing corners and free kicks in the opposition areas have been absolutely woeful of late, yeah. I mean, look, Kieran Trippier and Bruno Fernandes are the top two in the country for creating chances. Are both on 52 each. Peter says Trippier hasn't been right mentally since leaving the England team. Yeah, because he left for a personal issue. I mean, look, there's a lot of rumours flying around. We don't know what's gone on in his life. It obviously affected him against Everton, Tottenham. Making mistakes. And okay, you could see he was a fault in the way for the first goal by helping playing Wood on side, but then again, it was clever forward play from Chris Wood as well. But if they haven't been training properly, then the team's out of sorts and out of form. Hopefully, we'll see a different performance on Monday. Let's hope so. That's the main thing. Let's hope we'll see a better performance. Read that Trips has opened up on what the personal thing is. Well, let's hope it's all behind them now. And right, I'm going to go on this poll because we're going to have a look and see what this poll's at. So yeah, the poll is yes and 5% saying no for how to stay. And as the saying, the 5% is probably Mackham's yes, absolutely. Or all fans from other clubs. So I'm going to end that poll now anyway. There we go. But yeah, let me just read you Sean Longstaff's stats against Nottingham Forest on Tuesday. I keep wanting to say Monday, but it's Tuesday, wasn't it? I mean, they actually scored him 6.4 as well for Longy. Right, he played 71 minutes. He had 45 touches of the ball. He made 28 out of 34 accurate passes, 82%. 3 out of 4 long balls were accurate. He had 3 ground duels. He won none of those. He lost possession 10 times. He made 1 clearance and 1 interception and 2 dribble past. But other than that, didn't do a lot, did he? Dare I look at Miguel Almiron's stats for the other day for Forest game? Interesting. They've given him actually 7.5 against Forest. I didn't think he was that good, Miggy. Sorry. Miggy played 55 minutes. He had no shots on target, 1 shot off target, which we know went over the bar. He had 1 successful dribble attempt. He had 38 touches of the ball in 55 minutes. His accurate passing was 23 out of 25. He had 1 accurate cross, and he created 1 big chance. He won 3 out of 5 ground duels, 1 out of 1 aerial duels. He lost possession 6 times. But even so, he still wasn't that great. But I still wouldn't give him a 7, that's for sure. We can also look at Martin Dubravka's stats on Monday. They've given 6.7 on Tuesday, sorry. I keep saying Monday, I don't know why. At this Christmas gets you. He made 3 saves on that game. 88% accurate in passing. 1 long ball was accurate out of 4. He didn't win any ground duels. So that was his stats. What we'll do is we'll just see how much Anthony Elanga had the ball against Dan Burn. And I'll tell you what, Elanga, I think Forrest got a bargain there. I really do, because 15 million quid from Man United, not bad. He played 89 minutes, had 2 assists, he had 42 touches of the ball, 14 out of 18 passes were accurate, 3 key passes he made. He had 1 accurate cross, which was the roll along to Chris Wood. His only long ball was accurate. He created 3 big chances, had 2 shots on target, 2 shots off target, 1 shot blocked, 1 successful dribble attempt out of 2, missed 1 big chance. He won 4 out of 6 ground duels as well, lost possession 10 times, was fouled twice, he had 1 offside and 2 clearances. He made 2 interceptions and 1 tackle. That's what you call a right winger. That's what we need, a right winger. And I'll tell you what, 15 million quid, I would have had Anthony Elanga at Newcastle United, without a doubt. I think he's been superb since he's gone to Forest. I think that's a bargain. I really do. I think that is an absolute bargain what they got for Elanga. And he's only 21. He has a good season this season, and next season, this lad's going to go on and, yeah, it's going to go on to big things. I can see it. He'll be going to a bigger club. No disrespect to Forest, by the way. Chris Wood's performance, he got a 9.5 against us. And I'll run through his stats. He played the whole game. Well, 90 minutes. 3 shots on target. 3 scored. 2 out of 2 dribble attempts were successful. He had 36 touches of the ball. 13 out of 20 accurate passes. 3 out of 5 ground duels won. 2 out of 2 he won his aerial duels. Lost possession 10 times. He made 1 foul. He was fouled once. 4 clearances. 1 block shot. 1 dribble passed. So yeah, he had a right good game on Tuesday against us. And I was thinking, where's that Chris Wood come from, by the way? You know, because we never saw that Chris Wood, did we? Right, let's go into these comments, because I think some of these comments are going to be funny. Well, crossing corners and free kicks in the opposition areas have been absolutely woeful of late. Yeah, they have. I can't disagree. Lee says, put a couple of youngsters on the bench. Need because they can then run their hearts out and young, fresh legs. Absolutely. Rowley said, I said left wing, not on the left. He could do a job at left midfield. That's where I'd play him in your side, which I think is good. I'd switch him with J7 in your lineup. But they could both switch. But originally, when we played Man U, he was playing left wing, wasn't he? I'm sorry, but we are getting hammered, says Holly. Let's hope not. Bia says we'll win 2-1. Bia, I like your confidence, mate. I'll take it, though. Mikey Wynn says, I've been critical of Longstaff for over a year and have never been able to understand what he does, but you don't seem to be able to win without him. I mean, look, is it because he's going to become a father? Is that what was on his mind the other day? Who knows? Nobody knows what he does, but you're dead right, Wynn, says Gary. Miggy missed 1 big chance for Forest. Yes, he did, Bia, didn't he? Jesus Christ. Honestly, yeah. Ronald says, what is it with Longstaff falling doing too easy? I didn't get it. I don't either. Miggy 45 smells as well. Bruno too, he falls over all the time, looking for free kicks, but more than nothing, not that gives possession away. Yeah. Hit the like button, people, and help Tony and his channel. Thank you very much indeed, trolls. And if you're new, hit the subscribe as well. Thank you. Billy F says, Longstaff tries to keep the ball too long and then loses it. Yeah, absolutely. Ronald says, Forrest were dodgy, playing from the back, but we were disappointed in not punishing them. That's a great point, Ronald, because, yeah, they weren't very good playing from the back. And, any other team that's got sharp strikers on the pitch, they'd be in there for the kill and be scoring. And Forrest wouldn't have got anywhere near that. But, yeah, absolutely. Mikey Wynn says, if Isak hadn't moved away when Miggy did brilliantly winning the ball with a great tackle driving into the box, beating two defenders and playing the perfect ball to Isak, who decided to turn away. Yeah, there was that as well, wasn't there? Thoughts on Anthony Taylor being the ref on Monday? Yeah, not. I mean, he's one of the better refs, isn't he? But I suppose a good ref to have in this game, but he has been a bit funny towards us at times. And Stuart Atwell's on VAR as well, isn't he? So it doesn't get any better. Put Youngins on against Liverpool is suicide and will destroy the goal difference. Absolutely mighty win. It will do, yeah. Especially too many. Hope no shadow offside, says Lee. Yeah, let's hope. Well, yeah. Miggy's been a good player for us, but we need to upgrade where we are going, in my opinion, absolutely. Mighty win says sell Bruno and use the money to buy an elite DM, right winger and striker we need. Wow. Oh. Sell Bruno. Oh. I don't think we could though, could we? Really? Realistically, we couldn't. Atwell on VAR. Oh no. Yeah, absolutely, Ronald. He is. He's on VAR duty. It's Stuart Atwell. Not sure it's sell Bruno, but I can see where you're coming from on that. But, you know, look, Sandro Tonali is a DM. When he comes back next season, he's going to be pivotal to us and he's going to play better. We saw the performances improve after it all come out about the gambling issues. So hopefully we'll see a different Sandro Tonali next season and the better one, the one that was immense for AC Milan, the one who was immense for Italy as well. So be interesting. No, Bruno, our backbone of the team. Yeah, we can't go without Bruno, that's for sure, can we? So we need to, we need to not have Bruno. Is Tonali really a DM? Well, he can play there. Mighty Win says he's never been a DM. He has been a few times for AC Milan. They have used him there, but whether he can play there on a full-time basis, I'm not 100% sure. He's probably more better as an attacking. But he has done that, and I think he's done it once for Italy under 21s as well, played as a DM as well. So, you never know. There's always people out there who could try him for something. But Gary says, no, he's attacking midfielder. If FFP is the biggest problem we have, then selling players must be done. Yeah, we need to get the FFP up. But do we really want to lose Bruno? That's the thing, though. Do we want to lose Bruno? I'm not sure we do. On one note, guy I've had on my channel before, professional darts player Chris Dobie, just let you know, the local lad, has won and beat Ross Smith 4-2 in the World Darts Championship and next faces Michael Smith, the world champion. Sell Murphy, Mickey and Deadwood first, says Bia. Yeah, I mean, look, we've told Palace and Forest that Murphy's, if they want Murphy, they have to pay 20 to 25 million for him. Absolutely. Do it. Take it. I would. If we get another right winger in this window and Murphy's fit, sell him. Bruno might want to go if we don't shape up soon. That's the thing, trolls. He's got a... The thing is, if we don't get European football, do you fear an exodus in the summer? Do you fear Bruno goes? Do you fear Botman goes? Do you fear Isak goes? That's the thing, How are you, Dobie? Absolutely. If we sell Bruno, there'll be riots in the tune. Absolutely, Billy, there would be. Lisa, I think we could pull out a few shockers in the sense. Nothing's been said yet. They could be doing deals without us knowing. Absolutely. And the thing is, right, we all keep going on about the FFP. Only the club know how much technically they can spend. Everybody seems to guess that, we haven't got the money because of FFP. But we have got the money. What people don't realise is the club will have the best accountants, and what they'll do is they'll look through all the accounts and they'll say, right, technically, this is how much leeway you've got to spend in January. And so, for all we know, the club might have 200 million they can spend in January. Who knows? We don't know, and we just have to wait and see. Apparently, Bruno's got 100 million release clause. Yes, he has. Yeah, that was the thing that was apparent, wasn't it, with these release clause? But yeah, again, let's hope nobody activates it. But if they do, there's nothing you can do about it once it's activated. But whether that comes into, I'm not sure if that starts in January or if that actually starts in the summer, the activation. So maybe it might not be until the summer that you can actually activate Bruno's contract. Abdul Rahim, hi mate, hope you're well. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe and the like. Thank you very much. He says Newcastle need to buy Kvaratskhelia, Bellingham, and Mbappe, Holland. Do you know what? I'd absolutely love to buy all them, mate. Well, I wouldn't want Mbappe because I think Mbappe is a bit of a petulant child, if I'm honest. Kvaratskhelia, yeah, absolutely, I'd take him. He's a great guy, brilliant winger, isn't he? Absolutely fantastic player. Bellingham would be well out of our reach. So would Haaland. But I can see what you mean. But get them on FIFA, absolutely, why not? Everyone needs to stop panicking, trolls, and let the board carry on the project, improving the team. Yeah, absolutely, Gary. A few good players out with contract as well. Yeah, there is. That's the thing. Simon Jordan saying we could spend 250 million in this window without impacting FFP. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's my look. So as I say, my heart says we'll get a 1-1 draw on Monday, but my head says we're going to get beat 3-1. Maybe some people say I'm being too kind, but that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. But as I say, I would love nothing more than us to go to Liverpool and absolutely take them apart and beat them. But that's easier said than done. Jan, hi mate, he says, for me, the priority is to get these 3 players from around the 24 plus years who've got the t-shirt and seen it all on loan and then buy your top striker. Yeah, absolutely. I just hope we pick our form up and not panic. Yeah, absolutely, trolls. Mate, Ewan says, by the way, I'm only suggesting selling Bruno in order to finance a proper squad build. Then we buy him back when FFP allows. Yeah. I see what you mean by that. I mean, as I say it in strikers, we are linked to this guy, Jonathan David. He's on 28 grand a week at Lille. Newcastle could say, we'll treble your wages, and he'd still accept that, Lille are looking for around 40 million for him. I'd be tempted if Newcastle, if we get another right winger in, to say, look, what about cash plus Almiron? Why not? 20 million and Almiron, there you go. Absolutely. But yes, he's only scored 5 goals this season. But last season he got 24 goals, He's not a bad striker. And he knows where the back of the net is, that's for sure. But if you want to go but whether he would do it or not in the Premier League, that is another thing. We know he is a good striker. Or do you go for this man who he can get for 15 million quid, apparently? If that was the case, then yes, I would make Guirassy my number 1 target. Absolutely. Now, one thing I was debating the other day, and what I'm going to ask people in the comments what they think. Nick Pope now. Now, we know he's out till late April, maybe beginning of May. If by the end of January, when we have to put the Premier League squad in, if Nick Pope is only going to come back for 2 games at the end of the season, would you just leave Nick Pope out of the squad altogether and say, we'll see you next season? Or would you bring him back in for the last 2 games of the season? Personally, if there's only 2 games left of the season, I would just say, do you know what, Nick? We'll see you next season, mate. And, so you've got the rest of the season to recover. Because would it be worth having a squad place taken up just to bring a goalkeeper back in for the last 2 games? It's one of them. It is a dilemma, but I would say if he comes back, there's only 2 games left. I would say no. Let me use that squad place for somebody else, just for the season. Gary says, I heard there's angry hordes of flares with pitchforks heading your way, mate. Cash plus Almiron will get you Hendrick with a buy, and you get Hendrick with a buy. Absolutely, trolls. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, give them Hendrick. Mighty Win says, the only way we can spend 250 million in Jan is by compromising on our future spends by amortizing over, 7 or 8 years. Yeah. Dubs for 5 months and he's already left 14 goals in. Yeah, but he might not be playing, mighty, if we bring another keeper in, though. That's what I'm saying. David says, Rafinha from Barca for me, having a quality right winger would be huge for us, and he works hard and cuts inside like Eddie likes. Yeah, absolutely. I like Rafinha. Bias says, another goalkeeper injury could hurt us badly, and Pope could come back early, so I wouldn't name him in the squad. I'm only saying that hypothetically. It depends what the medical staff say. If it depends what his recovery's going like as well, you know. And as I said this morning, you know, I'll bring De Gea in, and maybe then in the summer you bring Mama Georgie Mama Dashvili in. Sorry, a mouthful these Georgian names are, aren't they? Mama Dashvili, there you go. We can sell Miggy, Wilson, Target, and Sean. I think Target will be gone in the summer, definitely. They're at the door now. Rather keep Pope in the squad and throw Dubs out. Well, yeah, I know that. Now, be careful because Rolly's in the chat, and you know Rolly likes Dubravka. Lee says, I'd leave Pope out because he might not have to spring in him. He could slip up. Yeah. Ronald said, I don't know that I didn't know that there's no replays in the FA Cup until last night, so it surprised me that this is a disservice to smaller clubs. I think it is as well. I mean, it's stupid because the small clubs, you know, if they got a draw at their ground and got a replay at the big ground, it brings in money, but that's the way it is. It's to try and cut the number of games. I think out of the 14 goals he shipped, only 3 at most can be attributed to Dubs, and that's a stretch, says Mighty Win. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, so we'll come to the end of the show, the preview, but it's been absolutely brilliant. Everybody's been great in the chat today as usual. If you have liked what you see, please don't forget to smash that like if you haven't done so already. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then come and smash a subscribe. Come and join this great community. It is free to do so, and the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well. 99p if you want to become a member, do that by clicking the join button, and if you want to make a donation, you can do that in the chat by hitting the $sign, as all money reinvested back in through the channel. Abdul says, hi everyone, how are you all? Very well, mate. Get Rafinha, Kvaratskhelia, Ivan Toney, many thanks. Ivan Toney comes back this month, doesn't he? Next month, sorry. So, yeah. I don't think Ivan Toney will be coming here, though. Great show. Cheers, trolls. Be assured the club are working overtime on new signs behind the scenes, guaranteed. I bet they've got deals already lined up, ready to go. I'm in my work for today. Keeping me company. Hope you have a great new year, Tony and everyone. Yeah, you too, mate. Hope you have a great new year as well. Yeah, definitely. I'll be out New Year's Eve. Jan says, Kvaratskhelia is a must. I would love him at the club. He's an absolute fantastic player. He really is. See you all later. People, take it easy. You too, Gary. Lee says, nice one, Tony and everyone. Hope you all have a great new year and all the best for the new year. Absolutely, Lee. There will be a pre-record put out on Sunday, New Year's Eve. Yeah, there'll be a pre-record put out on New Year's Eve, like a Happy New Year message and that, and so do look out for that. Ronald said, I bet Tonali and Tony will get on. Jesus, yeah. Our owners haven't had one deal ready for the first window day, so hopefully they do now, though. You never know, trolls. You never know, mate. But, yeah. But remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white. And, look, Enjoy the rest of your evening, whatever you're doing, and take care, everyone. Till then, have a great time. Bye bye for now. How are the lads?